The prodigal son returns in our nightcap. It is Fox Chapel. The Foxes, led by former Hampton Talbots goaltending great Cam Radna, their fourth-year head coach, against another fourth-year head coach with whom he should be quite familiar. Another scrappy Talbot from those great Hampton teams of the early 2010s. Luke Leah leading the Talbots this year and trying to lead them back to respectability in PIHL's Class A Northeast Division as the Talbots play host to the undefeated and vastly improved Foxes. Hello, good evening, and welcome again. Alongside Brian Mitchell one more time, I am Matt Popchak, and a decade ago, the Fox Chapel Foxes were the quintessential feel-good story of the PIHL. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Last year, 4-12-1, a forgettable campaign in the Class A Northeast Division. They've already equaled that win total this season, and they've already racked up one resounding win on opening night against these Talbots, looking for another against Luke Leah, who knows a thing or two about what winning hockey looks like and what it looks like in Hampton, for that matter.
Well, this is one I've been excited to look at. I told you the big thing is I've been hard time paying attention with everything going on in my life outside of this. I looked at the scoreboard to see how we look matched up for today's game, and I didn't expect to see a 4-0 Fox Chapel Foxes team on that scoreboard, so shows what I'm not paying attention to. But you know what? I'm not surprised. These guys have always poured their heart into everything they've done every time I've covered them, so it's good to see the Fox Chapels starting to come around and become a better program as their players get older, and they're getting deeper as we move along too, so that's good.
And what the Foxes have shown early on, Brian, is that they can beat you in every which way. They won 3 straight mercy roll running clock contests to start the season by an aggregate score of 27-5. They're one of the highest scoring teams in the classification, and then last Monday at the Alpha Complex, lo and behold, they grind out a 1-0 win over a Freeport Yellow Jacket squad that dressed 11 players that night. What a contest that was, but the Foxes get it done as Nash Wedner, who's already established himself as one of the premier goaltenders in the classification, made 23 saves to help cement the victory.
Well, as you move along in the season, you're going to have to learn how to win them in every which way, because you never know what you're going to see in the postseason. We made note last week that every classification has its change, and Hampton dropping down from AA to single A this year, and Fox Chapel being there for a couple years. It's been known a little bit more for its defensive style. Every once in a while you get a big-time forward out there that's able to exploit that, but they're generally either blowouts or low-scoring games here. There's really not a lot of 4-3, 4-2 games in single A, so you got to learn how to play them as they come to you here.
And Hampton should be a team that's gaining confidence as well. They got off to a tough start, including that aforementioned loss to Fox Chapel in the season opener, an 8-1 drubbing at the hands of the Foxes back on October 4th in Harmarville. But they bounced back nicely last Thursday with a decisive 5-1 victory at Beaver and Brady's Run. Sean Sullivan getting the hat trick in that game. He's got 4 goals already on the young season, and so does Danny Venture, who is this team's top returning scorer from a year ago, coming off a 17-point campaign as a sophomore. Venture, I'd venture to say, has bright things on his horizon.
I was hoping for a pun there. I was just not going to lie to you. I expected it. I saw it coming, and I should have just saw it and accepted it for what it was. I was excited that it happened. Hampton, you talk about the scoring. I'm going to talk about what they have in net. Frankel, watched him for the last 2 years here. It's been a tough couple seasons for Hampton, of course, now moving down, but he had to watch McGee play the last couple years, and a couple, in a rotation. Now it's his crease, so it's an opportunity for Frankel to come in here and become the goaltender that he deserves. Now you talk about players like Sullivan and Venture. Yeah, that's beautiful to see. I mean, a sophomore in Sullivan being able to step in and get that scoring ability. I mean, a couple seasons ago we talked about a couple, Hampton, big-time scorers were able to put them together. Their lines were big. They wanted to make it all happen. I talked about 4 or 5 years ago the issues that kept them from making the postseason, and then having to bounce back the next year. They wanted to rewrite their program. Well, this rebuild is starting to come back around. Hampton is starting to look like that team that they were. Slow start to the season, but let's see how they play tonight against a team that they already lost to. But it's good to see these early season teams being able to play each other again, and this is the last time they'll see each other, possibly till the postseason. So
Both teams certainly hope that is the case. And the Talbots, as you said, will be starting Frankel in goal. At the other end, it'll be Wedner for the Foxes. And Fox Chapel offensively has gotten a lot of help from junior forward Danny Downey, 23 points a season ago. He also, like Venture, had a fabulous sophomore season last season. And he's already off to a rousing start this year with 7 goals and 13 points, including 7 total points on special teams. He's even got a shorthanded goal to his credit. Fox Chapel just clicking in all phases of the game right now and looking to keep it going and looking for a season sweep of their northern rivals here on enemy ice tonight.
Downey coming in last year, you said as a sophomore, this year a junior. And his brother played with them last year, Ricky. I remember confusing the heck out of both of them as I was calling the only game that we called last season. And Downey just surprised me and impressed me throughout that entire contest. And it's good to see, he grow and continue to build on that. And he's still got another whole season after this one to seeing Danny Downey here in the PIHL, which is going to be nice to have.
Both coaches talking to their respective teams as we are just about ready to go for Game 2 of 2 in tonight's Berg Hockey Live doubleheader. Earlier tonight, you saw the Butler Golden Tornadoes storm out to a 4-0 lead on the Mars Planets and hang on for a 4-3 victory that came down to the final seconds. Butler having to withstand a 6-on-4 disadvantage with goaltender Willow Starkey pulled, but the Golden Tornado just the same get the victory, their first victory of the 2021-2022 campaign, as the Planets are still looking for their first win of the varsity year.
Yeah, somebody's going to ask me what my stressors are in life. It's going to be Mars and Butler playing hockey and having to call that contest. So that's something I'm going to remember for a while.
The Talbots in white, the Foxes in black, and it'll be the Foxes controlling the opening faceoff and pushing it from right to left on your computer screen or mobile device as this game is underway. Colin Hurst, the junior forward, takes it for the Hampton Talbots, dropping it back to Adam Dembowski, the senior. Dembowski gains the red line and dumps it deep. In pursuit, Tommy Healy, the senior for Fox Chapel. Healy off to a fast start offensively with 7 goals on the young season as this puck is sent around the far corner, and Fox Chapel picking it off their own half boards and getting it up through center over the Hampton line. Centering pass just eluding the tape of Danny Downey, the aforementioned all-star, as he leaves it for Mason Heininger. Heininger and Downey combined for 9 points in the season opener against the Hampton Talbots, and that is a most dangerous duo indeed that we're going to be keeping an eye on throughout this contest. Foxes making an early line change as one of their own was hauled down. That was Healy, but we play on here past the first minute of first period play. No score. Intercepting at the red line for Fox Chapel, Tyler Goldstein, the freshman, and this long puck in on goal is smothered at the knees by Braden Frankel. Frankel in 151 minutes of play, a 5.07 GAA, 860 save percentage, 1-2 record. Again, the Talbots starting slowly, but Frankel coming off a 15-save victory against the Bobcats as this puck goes to the corner. Hampton controlling the faceoff and putting it up ahead to Scanlon. Here's Logan Scanlon, the senior, pulling up at the right point, trying to center it for Cody Bianco. Bianco too well covered. He puts his puck to the corner and tries to shoot it from a bad angle, never made it through, and Fox Chapel will try quickly to counterattack. Foxes come over the line. Here's McNamara trying to center it for Quentin Miskey, who was open at the far post, but they couldn't connect. Very fluid start to this contest, as we saw in the first of our games tonight. Scanlon up ahead for Venture. Danny Venture puts it wide on the off wing, and the rebound is put right into the pillows of Nash Wedner, who slid across to his right to thwart that scoring chance, and it was a dangerous one for the Talbots.
Good play by Wedner to get across. He didn't see that on the backhand. He just was able to react and get it underneath the pads. 15:03 remaining. No score here.
I'm already out of breath.
I know. How do you think I feel?
Shots 3-1 early on in favor of the homestanding Talbots. Fox Chapel winning the defensive zone faceoff. And they go cross ice. This pass a little too strong for McElwain. Oben McElwain will let it go to the far corner where it's played by Andrew Bagnotto, the Hampton sophomore. And the big skater will let it go to fellow forward Colin Hurst. The junior up to center as Dembowski skates it over the line. Dembowski trying to pick the puck out of one of the Foxes there. That was Ryan Zatman, the senior, trying to clean up his own zone, and he did. Puck back to the neutral zone where Zatman will play it. Now retreating for Fox Chapel, and he goes to the opposite end of the ice, right in front of the Fox Chapel bench. That's Isaac Jacobs getting this puck deep. Hampton will play it out slowly from its own end. Up ahead now for Colin Hurst. Hurst for Scanlon. Scanlon makes sure he has the red line and dumps it in as Luke Lea from that Hampton Talbot class of 13 will change lines here early on. Fox Chapel takes over possession. They come 3 strong over the Hampton blue line. Here with it now is Healy. Healy wraparound try. Save made just in the nick of time by Frankel. Puck battle in the far corner now as it's kicked at by one of the Talbots. That's Scanlon. Comes to the point but not out. Here's Liam Wiseman, the freshman, behind the Hampton goal. Fox is digging for it. It'll come to the right point. Picked up by Healy. Healy through a crowd on the doorstep. It's loose, put just wide by Gavin Gebhardt. One-timer in front, save made, rebound is covered. Braden Frankel already a busy man with 3:24 off the first period clock.
Good poise by Frankel there to be able to make sure that that puck gets covered. I mean, that was a tough play across. You had a lot collapsing down on top of you. That puck was a hard one to find. He tracked it well. Good job. That's all I got. Good job. Woo!
It was a good job. No, Frankel had to react quickly to make that play. Foxes with a couple of opportunities to get greasy goals there to open the scoring. But here comes Hampton off the faceoff. Venture's shot from the off wing was blocked. Good stick work there by the Foxes defensively. And this puck battle will be won by the Talbots, but they have to tag up here as Bianco sends it deep. Fox Chapel will play the puck defensively. Going D to D are Goldstein and Wiseman. Foxes over the Hampton line now. Centering pass for Wiseman. Wiseman in on net. Covered again by Frankel, who drops to his knees. Why do I get the feeling the scoreboard cam's going to be the death of us tonight?
It's a bad hand. I'm going to get something for it. I got to get a new stand for it. Every time something happens and it bounces around, it gets disconnected, but I got it figured out.
It's as excited as we are. Geez, watching all this.
Yeah.
Action unfold.
I actually looked down and saw that it was just looking straight up, so I was like, got to look at that fixed. I'm doing like 5 different things here tonight. So
doing them well, I might add. Always a pleasure to watch the ringmaster run the proverbial circus here as we are back to action in Hampton Ice. Foxes losing the puck there at the last moment as this shot is deflected just wide. Wiseman trying to put it on goal from distance. That was not to be. Centering pass broken up by the Talbots. They're just trying to clear their own end, and it looks like they will. That goes as far as the end of the Hampton bench before the Foxes have to tag up. And it'll be the Hampton captain, Owen Serlingione. Watching the Foxes come back the other way. It's loose on the doorstep and pushed just wide of Frankel. Now again, the puck up for grabs between the circles. It's taken by Gebhardt. Gebhardt to a wide open man, and it's put off the iron. Danny Downey had all kinds of time and space. He just couldn't find the target. And we remain scoreless with 11:40 to go in the first. That was a nightmare scenario for the Talbots defensively, but they survive. Heininger has a poke check there, and he has to retreat to play this puck. Hampton will try and reset defensively, but they can't hang on. Here's Jacobs in the corner. Gives it up to one of the Talbots defensively. Now comes behind the Hampton goal for Bianco. Bianco around the boards. Fox is trying to cut it off on the left side, and they will. Healy with it, being spun off that puck by one of the Hampton defensemen. That's number 84, the sophomore, James Elk, who's listed as a forward on our official roster. And the Talbots finally get this puck back to neutral ice with under 11 to play in a scoreless first. And they come into the Fox Chapel zone with speed. Jacobs trying to clean that up. He can't. Talbots in digging for it deep. Dembowski to the near corner. Behind the net, a little too strong for Venture. Foxes trying to counterattack. McElwain misplayed that puck, taking it in stride right behind him. Salvatore Smith, the junior. intercepted at the blue line and sent deep. It comes to Jacobs. Jacobs couldn't get a clean shot on net. It's steered aside by Frankel as it goes to the far corner. One of the Talbots going down hard there, but no worse for the wear. That's Bagnato as this puck is whistled wide. Bianco up ahead for Sean Sullivan. Sullivan deflected that off his stick. It is not offside. Play continues. He just couldn't quite reel in that lead pass there. Otherwise, he might have had a great look for Hampton. McNamara gets this puck deep. Fox Chapel wants to make some changes here, and it will as Scanlon redirects this behind the Fox's goal line. To the near corner, it's poked at by a couple of players on either side. This puck battle won by the Foxes, and building momentum through center ice is McNamara. McNamara on the off wing, he dropped it for Miskey, whose shot might have caught some pipe there, albeit the outside of the pipe. Comes to the left side for Goldstein. Goldstein dropping. Shot save made, rebound, put in hard on Frankel, who doesn't know where it is. It's underneath him, and apparently, according to this USA Hockey crew, it was underneath him long enough for a faceoff.
I like what I see out of Fox Chapel early. It definitely is indicative of a 4-0 team, a team that's played very well so far. No matter who they face, they are flowing good. They are able to make the passes. They're getting in position well. They know where each other is. That's a big thing in high school hockey. A lot of the time you don't see that. These players know where each other are on the ice, and they're being able to use that to their advantage very well. And they're fast. Shifty forwards, works out nice.
To the half boards it goes. McNamara playing it around for Fox Chapel in the offensive zone. Foxes with an early lead on the shot counter, 7-3, as Hampton is in a familiar position against this Foxes team of having to weather an early storm. Fox Chapel jumped out to a 4-0 first period lead last time these two teams met and never looked back. Of course, earlier tonight we saw a team with a 4-0 lead that probably did get caught looking back a little bit.
Woo!
As Frankel makes a nifty save there right out in front to keep it a scoreless game with 8:40 to go in the first.
Just a beautiful pass from Maychek up to McNamara. He just was alone in the slot. Frankel had to recover and was able to be in position in time to take that one right in the logo. Good save. Better shot, though. I'll give him that credit. Usually hear it the other way around. I'll give him credit on that one.
Wedner was the one we've been giving the kudos. Of course, he's coming off that 23-save shutout of the Freeport Yellow Jackets, but it is Frankel who's stealing its thunder a bit in the early going, turning aside all 8 Fox Chapel shots as we are at 8:25 to go on a running first period clock. Talbot's just trying to hold their own and hold their zone defensively here, and finally they're able to get this puck off of Fox Chapel's shin and out to center in behind the Fox's blue line. The visitors will reset and get it back up into Hampton territory. Scanlon at his own point, trying to play it off Downey. Downey gathers his puck in, up ahead now for Heininger. Heininger couldn't get a clean shot off. Hampton doing a good job of muddying the waters there and supporting their goaltender. Serlioni, the captain, puts it off the glass defensively and out of play.
Hampton just hanging on out here. They're not generating a lot coming out of the zone. Fox Chapel seems to be taking advantage of everything from their own blue line back towards the Hampton net. But you can see there's a little bit of a tipping point that's going to happen here. It just seems like, it's going to happen.
Foxes win another face-off and send this puck in on Frankel from long range. He'll casually steer it aside as the Talbots try to clean up their own end of the ice. They cannot. Now, will they? Yes, they finally will. Serlioni finally gets possession of this puck. The Talbots were struggling a bit there with puck possession, but they do get it back to neutral territory before number 19, Owen McElwain, re-enters the Hampton zone. Fox is trying to pick up the physical play here as they try to break this scoreless tie with more than half of the first period gone. One of the Foxes calling for the puck near side. That was Zetman. They couldn't quite find him. Here's a shot whistled just wide by McElwain from the left wing circle. Foxes continue to hack and whack for this puck. Hampton finds it, and they just barely get it out. McElwain just now aware of it as he retreats to tag up. And Fox Chapel trying to change lines in haste here as Hampton is not able to get the counterattack going. This pass by Ratnavali a little too far for its intended target. I think that was Danny Venture who was up ahead of the play. Hampton gaining the red line and dumping it deep. That's Isaac Zetch doing the honors. Goldstein from behind his own net. Up ahead for McNamara, part of the Fox Chapel leadership group. McNamara emerges from the corner, tries to center it for a man right out in front. That was Masek. And now the Foxes do score, and I believe it is Masek who's going to get the goal. The second time proved to be the charm. And what does the Fox say? 1-0 Fox Chapel.
Puck just popped out in front, tip in by Maychek. He just dumped it on Frankel. Frankel wasn't able to get across in time. Not a lot going on there beyond that. It was a good play, and that's where that watermark I was worried about crossing, and I think that's where you needed to see, and it's going to be 1-0 Fox Chapel.
Alex Masek, the junior forward, with his first of the season, so the depth and breadth of scoring continues to be a relevant narrative for these 21-22 Fox Chapel Foxes early in the regular season. As the Talbots send this puck deep. Hampton really doing a heck of a job holding its own defensively, but you let a talented offensive team keep knocking on the door. Pretty soon the door's going to come down. Talbot's looking for a quick answer here as that centering pass went by everybody, and the Foxes trying to mount a quick counterattack here. Skating wide is Gebhardt. Gebhardt looking for a man on the doorstep. That is number 22, Quentin Miskey, who was too well covered by one of the Talbots. That was James Elk. Hampton chasing after this puck as the Foxes have it deep in their own end. It's sent up ahead to Mason Heininger. Heininger outmaneuvers a player. Heininger off the body of Frankel, and Frankel will hang on to this second chance shot, which is put right into the logo by Gavin Gebhardt. And the Foxes continue to tilt the ice early here in Valencia.
12-3 are the shots are currently in favor of the Foxes, and Frankel is standing on his head, but there's not a lot that he can do about it at this point. He's just going to have to continue to be a heck of a goaltender in the rest of the way here. We're only talking 5 minutes into the first.
Downey just misses the top corner. Nearly a perfect postage stamp snipe there by Danny Downey. And here's a slapper right into the catching glove of Frankel from Tommy Healy, who's had some really good shifts in this first period for the Foxes. And this Fox Chapel attack just keeps coming, and it keeps coming in waves. The Talbots looking for any way they can to shift the momentum here, down 1-0 on the even strength tally by Alex Masek just moments ago. To their credit, that's all the Foxes have gotten out of this onslaught. And the more that goes on, the more that could really be a victory for Hampton, so we'll see how it plays out. Hurst trying to clear the zone. He can't. Foxes send this to the far boards. Bagnato has to retreat to the corner to play the puck, and he'll send it the opposite side where it's picked up by Bianco. Bianco using his big frame to shield that puck, but he loses it, and Franco has to make a save here, and another one from a bad angle on Gebhardt. Gebhardt sniffing for
we got a penalty,
dirty
a slash.
Goal. It is a slashing call, and this might be the break the Talbots were looking for. If it's against who I think it's against. It is against Gavin Gebhardt.
They were just battling behind the net, ended up little extracurriculars after the whistle and right in front of Comerick, so that's a penalty every day and twice on Sunday.
And if there's one aspect of their game Hampton really wants to try and improve upon early in the season, it is the power play. In that win over Beaver, the Talbots only 1 for 8 on the man advantage. So they did convert one of those chances, but really when you have that many chances to put a game out of reach, you want to take everything you can get. As Zetch puts this in toward the goal, bouncing puck, picked up by the Foxes. Can they clear it? No, they can't. Well, now they will, as settling it down and swiping it out of there off his backhand is the freshman Goldstein. Fox Chapel killing penalties at a 95% success rate, coming into this game. That is good for 5th overall in PIHL Class A. Talbots on the man advantage, down 1-0. Venture cross ice to Serlioni. His shot wide. Venture camped out at the point, trying to keep this puck in the zone. He can't with his glove. And Serlioni will give chase back in his own corner. Midway through the man advantage. 3:10 to go in the first.
Wow.
And now here's Elk over the line for the Talbots. Elk makes his move. He shoots over the bar. He had Wedner beat. He just couldn't pick his spot. And now a penalty coming up here against the Foxes again. And the Talbots are going to have a two-man advantage for 45 seconds. So already a critical juncture in this game. As well as Fox Chapel has played early on, it's only a 1-0 contest, and any kind of power play score here would do wonders emotionally, you would think, for the home team.
Well, we saw it in the last game, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So that 5-on-3 was the thing that put Mars back in the game. So we'll see if Hampton can channel that a little bit here, especially with only being down by 1 here early in the coming towards the end of the first.
Serlioni for Dembowski. Dembowski shoots, save made. Oh,
geez.
Wedner had no idea where it was as one of the Talbots went down. That was Serlioni tripping over his own 2 skates as the puck is cleared by the Foxes.
Downey was right there. They're lucky that he wasn't able to take that at the length of the ice, the way he's shooting right now.
Dembowski playing it on one hand for Sullivan. Sullivan couldn't get that puck on goal, and Fox Chapel was able to clear. Good work there in deep by Healy defensively.
There's Downey.
There he is shorthanded, and he generates a turnover, and he's going to be able to kill off the remainder of the front end of the 5-on-3. So it'll be a 5-on-4 now for 1 minute 15 seconds for Hampton as Sullivan catches up to this puck and brings it over the line. Sullivan from the left hash centers it. It's deflected and gathered in by the Talbots. Dembowski behind the net. Healy intercepts for Fox Chapel before taking a hard bump from one of the Talbots. Fox Chapel able to clear the zone, though. That was Zatman getting it the length of the ice, and here's a turnover to Gebhardt. Gebhardt puts it above the goal mouth. 43 to go in the 5-on-4 now as Sullivan plays this puck at his own point. Sullivan around his teammate Scanlon over the line now, sending this puck to the corner. Nobody in support. Now Venture will penetrate and go after this puck, and Venture has it behind the net, centering in front. He was looking to connect with Sullivan, but Sullivan was just too well covered as Fox Chapel comes back shorthanded with 20 to go. From the right circle and from a bad angle, this puck is fired by the alternate captain Heininger into the side of the arm of Braden Frankel. 5 seconds to go, and Fox Chapel's going to kill this off, and that's huge for the Foxes with under a minute to play in the period. A phenomenal job by the Fox Chapel penalty kill. Not a lot of high danger opportunities on that 5-on-3 for the Talbots, as this shot from distance is put just wide by Bianco.
Nice play by Bianco to get that shot off.
He nearly made it a moot point. Fox Chapel 2-on-2 with half a minute to play. Downey over the line, building momentum. Downey, wraparound, score!
He missed the net and bounced it off of Frankel anyway. Wow.
Danny Downey, isn't that a fine how do you do? 2-0 Fox Chapel, and those late period goals are a doozy. That one certainly was. Danny Downey doing it all himself.
Yeah, absolutely, and he actually got it. Yeah, he got a little bit of luck there. As I said earlier, it was a wraparound opportunity, was just thrown out in front, and he just bounced it off the pad of Frankel, who just took his momentum back into the net trying to come across, and that's how that one ended up making it 2-0.
So Fox Chapel generates special teams momentum not from its PP, but from its PK. And moments later, Danny Downey nets his team-leading 8th goal of the season to make it a 2-0 hockey game with time ticking away here in the first period. And it looks like it might end at least 2-0 as this one is put off the shoulder of Frankel. 1 second to go. Zatman can't get anything going there. The Foxes think they've scored before the buzzer, but officials immediately wave it off as this puck was deflected over the shoulder of Frankel, but I think that's the right call. That was clearly in after the horn had sounded. And so the first period will end with the Fox Chapel Foxes leading the Hampton Talbots by a score of 2-0 with Brian Mitchell. I'm Matt Popchalk. It's a Berg Hockey Live doubleheader on Pittsburgh Hockey Digest. Back to action here at Frozen Pond Arena in Valencia, Pennsylvania. It's the nightcap of our Berg Hockey Live doubleheader with the Fox Chapel Foxes looking to stay unbeaten in PIHL Class A Northeast Division action against the rival Hampton Talbots. And the Foxes have a 2-0 lead on first period goals by Alex Masick. And then moments ago, Danny Downey with his team leading 8th of the season. And this Fox Chapel attack continues to just smother another opponent as it looks for a season sweep of the Talbots, and they are right back into the offensive zone off the opening second period faceoff. Goldstein, the freshman, didn't quite have the red line, but it doesn't matter because this isn't going to be icing. It's going to be played deep by Heininger of Fox Chapel. It comes to the point for Wiseman. Instead, it's going to be blocked away and sent up ahead to Sean Sullivan. Sullivan hits the brakes, spinning around, trying to create space. He's shouldered off the puck neatly by Heininger, and that allows Fox Chapel to regain possession. This sent up ahead, Downey, that was to the wrong shoulder, if you will, and this one will be an icing against Fox Chapel.
Hampton seems to be getting a little bit more momentum. They're building just a tad bit of momentum as this game progresses. I mean, it's what you like to see, especially when you get down real quick 2-0 in the way that they have. You want to be able to build off of that and learn something. You saw that in the last game with the adjustments that Mars made. Now Hampton's going to have to do the same thing. Same game plan here, except they got the home crowd in front of them.
Bianco's snapper from center point is blocked by Masick. In behind the net it goes to Elk. Elk out in front looking for a man to connect with, and this puck is covered by a sliding Nash Wedner, the senior. He was looking to go to Logan Scanlon, who had a wide open net, but what he didn't have was the puck. So the Talbots getting some zone time, and that's what they've got to do. They've got to turn it into something tangible here and do what they can to not let this thing get any more out of hand than it could have gotten in that first period. Fox Chapel with 17 first period shots, and the Talbots have scored!
No goal!
Or have they?
High stick.
They are going to say that Scanlon, I think Scanlon played it with a high stick. I think Elk was the one who shot it. It happened right off the face-off, a literal bang-bang play. What did you see, Mitch?
I'm looking at it. Let me look in 1 second, and it was, let me pull back just a little bit and see what happened there. I wasn't supposed to do that. Face-off's coming all the way back down, but
in the meantime, the face-off will be to the left of Braden Frankel.
Yep, high stick.
Okay, yes, it was fired by Cody Bianco, actually, from the left point and played by the high stick of Scanlon, if my eyes did not deceive me there. So
that's the nice thing about the delay is you get an instant replay when you want, and that's what I was able to use to try to decipher that. And yeah, that was a high stick off the play. It was a good call by the referees.
Good call. By that same token, a really tough break for the Talbots, who looked like they had gotten just the shot in the arm they needed, and in the blink of an eye,
that's a
denied.
nice thing. Yeah, that's a nice thing about YouTube is I can go back in a DVR format. So It actually lets me go in and look at that replay when I want to.
Here come the Foxes 2-on-2. Heininger crossing with Downey. Downey's shot, knee save made by Frankel as it goes to the corner. Heininger behind the net now. Has this puck for the Foxes. To the point it goes to Healy. Cross ice for 58 Zetman. To the corner it goes. Downey in fighting for this one with Bianco of Hampton. And Downey uses that superior stride of his to try and win that puck battle. It comes to the right point for Zetman again. Zetman on the half boards. This shot is partially deflected as taken by Hurst and stays in play. Fox Chapel unable to keep it inside the offensive zone. Will have to tag up here as Cam Radna wants to make a line change with 14 to go to the ice cut. And his team still ahead 2-0. Foxes force a turnover. Between the circles it comes, and Frankel is not going to glove this puck down. He's going to escort it to the corner for the Talbots to play it defensively. It comes to Goldstein. Goldstein to the left circle. Save made. Rebound. It was loose. Woo! And swiped out of there at the last possible moment by Serlioni.
Great play by Serlioni there.
Captain's got to teach stuff, and that was a...
Captain's got to teach.
Indeed, good defensive play there by the Hampton captain. Serlioni going in behind his own net after this puck, which comes around to the near boards now. And it's wrapped off the Fox Chapel bench for Danny Venture. Venture with a nifty move there over the blue line. Can't quite dangle around the last man, however. That's Liam Wiseman who stood him up and sent his ensuing pass just a little too far for Miskey, but Miskey's going to get to it first in the far corner. Miskey trying to go back to Jacobs. That pass broken up. Hampton coming back on the counterattack. In over the line is Scanlon. Scanlon with a sense of urgency to Serlioni. Serlioni from the left point. That shot kicked out of there by Wedner. Talbot's working in behind the Fox Chapel net now. Scanlon out in front. Rister just wide. And that was Venture who missed the 4x6. Talbot's with a good shift here in the Fox Chapel zone. But the Foxes are able to get it back through center. And playing in at his own blue line is Zetch, this junior defenseman for Hampton. Through the legs of 25 Wiseman it goes. Fox Chapel trying to get control defensively here. Masick in after this. Sends it around the boards. Cut off by Zetch. To the center circle.
Ooh,
and it's picked up in flight and put wide of the Hampton goal by Miskey. Miskey for McNamara. McNamara is immediately double teamed and ridden hard off this puck by a couple of Hampton back checkers. To the left point it goes for Tommy Healy. Healy to the right point for Zetman. Zetman's shot deflected off a Hampton stick and up into the air wide of the goal. Talbot's with it now defensively. Here's Zetch to the right point. It goes. It's sent in deep by Masick. And out in front it comes to one of the Foxes. That's Masick on his backhand, putting it in the stomach, and ultimately the catching glove of Braden Frankel.
20 shots on goal now for the Fox Chapel Foxes here. The Hampton Talbots just holding on with 6.
And still, amazingly, it's just a 2-0 hockey game.
Yeah.
One mistake, one breakdown, one chance the other way could change things very quickly. Fox Chapel looking to keep the pressure on here with 11:16 to go to the ice cut. Heininger on to take the offensive zone draw for the visitors. Who will he oppose? It'll be Scanlon for the Talbots lining up at the dot. And Scanlon with a clean win there is immediately dumped to the ice, getting up a bit slowly, but under his own power nonetheless. Fox Chapel on the attack. Here's a snapshot. Score! Gavin Gebhardt just put a camel through the eye of a needle, and it is 3-0 Foxes. That shot from Gebhardt, boy, did it have eyes.
Yes, it did. It was was just one of those low risers that come up off the top of the circle. Went around the defender and just fired it home midsection, about 2 feet high on the post, and underneath the glove of Frankel, and he was pretty well screened on that play, so there wasn't much you can do about it.
Gavin Gebhardt, the senior, with his third of the season, and here come the Foxes all over again, looking to add to this 3-0 lead. Wiseman going D to D with Porter Hill, the sophomore. But the Foxes turn it over, and here's a man open for Hampton. That's James Elk, who couldn't redirect that past Wedner. Shot from distance by Serlioni, never made it through. Foxes counterattacking. And here's Gebhardt again. Gebhardt slams on the brakes at the top of the right circle, but he is knocked neatly off the puck by Serlioni as Hampton tries to get its transition game going. Here's Elk trying to get rid of the puck at the last second. He can't. It's swiped at by Venture. Elk will have it offensively for Hampton in the near corner, trying to reset for Serlione. Serlione through a crowd. That missed everything. It's picked up far side by Bagnotto. Bagnotto, the sophomore, to the corner it goes. No, nobody there for that pass as the Foxes are able to clear easily with 10 to go in the second period. Nearly a dangerous turnover there to Heininger, the alternate captain. Serlione retreating. Jacobs has it now for Fox Chapel, but the Foxes are offside. This Fox Chapel squad continuing to flex its muscles offensively early in the season. And if they are not the first 30-goal team in the PIHL this season, Brian Mitchell, I've got to imagine they're up there. They're one of the first to hit that mark as a team, I would imagine.
Actually, we probably already have a couple teams there, but that would be in the open division, of course, where the scoring seems to be a little more loose out there.
It always is in the open division. In that respect, nothing has changed.
I think Carrick reached that by the end of week 2.
The Raiders very nearly won a championship in the first year that the open division existed. And only the State College Little Lions denied them. Here's a giveaway at center ice as players collide, and Radna desperately wants a call as this puck is put into the stomach of Braden Frankel, and Radna's going to get a call as McElwain went down hard and gets up, no worse for the wear. A hard open ice collision, and what's the indication going to be here? Are we going to have any penalties or no?
Or at least going to talk to Radna right now. I didn't see any call on the ice, but player came across, hit him high. They're thinking he's calling for an elbow here. Is what he's trying to say on the bench, is that there was an elbow because he hit him with his arms in the air. So they're gonna talk to him a little bit.
Well, Cam, if it makes you feel any better, buddy, I was duped as well. I thought for certain there was going to be something coming from that. But, alas, it remains 5-on-5, and it also remains 3-0 Fox Chapel with 9 minutes to go till they cut the ice here at Frozen Pond Arena. Talbot's working this puck out to center ice. Up ahead is Scanlon. Scanlon around a man, driving the net, but lost control of the puck at the last moment, and that allows Nash Wedner, the senior, to freeze it. That's a great hockey name, Nash. I think
I do like that.
I think if you name your kid Nash, you've pretty much mapped out his athletic future. At least I would venture to say.
Yep.
Of course, there was a great Olympian for the Canadian side with the surname Nash. As Erica Ginn, the junior forward, plays this puck in her own zone for the Hampton Talbots. And yes, I did just say her, Erica Ginn, a female player on this Hampton varsity roster. And earlier tonight, you saw a female starting goaltender for the Mars Planets, Willow Starkey, who played admirably in defeat for the road team.
It's becoming more and more commonplace, and it's a good thing to see.
We love it.
It's hard to, you don't see that anywhere else. Well, you do see it some places in sports, but in a contact sport like hockey, it's becoming more and more commonplace.
Especially here in the PIHL.
They've been trying for a couple years here, and I don't know where it stands this year, but the league trying to pull together an all-girls division 4-team division by what I might have gathered 2 years ago when they tried it, but that's been derailed by COVID the last couple years. I know that.
As have a good many of the league's endeavors.
But it's definitely become a very regular place, and
No, it's something we certainly look forward to being a part of. A first in our lifetime, certainly here. It's residents of Western PA. Scanlon playing this puck for Hampton into the Fox Chapel zone before he is immediately dispossessed by Alex Masick. Talbot sending this puck in promptly. Fox Chapel will play it defensively. Healy behind his own cage. Skates to his left, surveys the play, and tries to go long for Gebhardt. It's intercepted instead by one of the Talbots. That's Hurst firing from long range and off the blocker hand of Wedner. Bianco keeps at the left point. In on goal, kicked out of there at the last moment by the Fox Chapel senior. Now a shot into the glove hand of Nash Wedner, and that's Scanlon, who's had some good looks. Maybe some of the best looks all night that Hampton has had in the offensive zone, but they still can't find the net.
Scanlon's a shifty little player. He gets an opportunity there to get a shot up from the top of the circle, and he'll take it every single time. I've watched him for a couple seasons now, and he's not afraid to shoot. He's not afraid to take the opportunities, and the senior definitely should have a breakout year this year.
Talbots with a clean face-off win, trying to find some way back into this game here. They trail 3-0 with about 6.5 to go in the second period as this puck off the deflection is gloved by Wedner. We'll do it again from the same spot. Gadosh getting ready to drop the puck here between Scanlon and the alternate captain Heininger of the Foxes. To the boards it goes. Another face-off win for Hampton. Kick save made on the long shot by Bianco. Scanlon, who was there again, couldn't quite get to the rebound. And here's a 2-on-1 the other way for the Foxes. Gebhardt, left wing, looking for Heininger, but the pass is broken up neatly. And that was good defensive work there by Cody Bianco, the junior. Stayed right with him. Foxes gain the red line and send it deep. Downey in pursuit. Downey, who had his 8th goal of the season earlier tonight, tries to center this puck for nobody in particular, but it's picked up by Heininger. Heininger from a tough angle into the midsection of Braden Frankel, who makes his 22nd save unofficially of the night. 19th save, I should say.
He's having a solid game slowly throughout. I mean, there are a couple mental lapses, a couple mistakes, but at the same time, you can't really fault him for it. He's played very well in between the pipes.
Certainly doing his part to keep Hampton within arm's length as this puck goes out of play, and we'll face it off again to Frankel's left. To the half boards it goes. Floated out to center where it's settled down by Goldstein, the freshman, off the glass and in behind the Hampton net. Played by Serlioni, the Talbots captain. Hampton defensively sends it up to the center circle. In pursuit is Danny Venture, and Venture has a step on his man. Venture driving the goal, makes a move, backhander save made, rebound. Venture still has it, but it rolled off his stick at the last possible moment. Great opportunity there for the Talbots, just weren't able to bury it, as McElwain frustrated with himself as he accidentally puts this puck out of play, nearly glancing the noggin of assistant coach John Gratton, I believe. Glad we didn't have a Mike Sullivan moment just no, you got to watch out. They can, when you least expect it, they can come up, they can get you.
Well, they have an EMS on site here at Frozen Pond. One of the few things you don't see in a lot of places.
True.
They have a room specifically for the EMS here. I think they also have that at Palmer Imaging / PIA, not Pittsburgh Ice, Center Ice Arena, but there's a room where they have an EMS on site all the time. So, and it was right. She was right on the bench. You can see her right between there and the orange, the yellow vest. So, if he got hit, we'd at least have the quick reaction there.
Meanwhile, the senior defenseman, Rudy Ratnavali, pinching at the other end, was stiffing that big, juicy rebound, but Wedner got there first, and he forces a face-off. And the Talbots trying to go forward off the face-off. Turnaround try by Rotten.
That's a
Volley
goal.
is loose, and it's in!
Scanlon.
He does, at long last, nuzzle that nylon, and the scrappy Talbots are still alive with under 5 to go in period number 2. Scanlon at the side of the net catches a prone Wedner out of position.
Ratnaval lost the puck at his feet and it just bounced around a little bit, was able to bounce over to Scanlon, who had a wide open net, and make it 3-1 here in the second period. 4:54 remaining. 3-1 is your score.
Logan Scanlon, the senior, with his second of the varsity year. And the Talbots, who have been on their heels for much of this divisional contest, still have some life as they sail this puck off the boards, just avoiding contacting the referee Komarek. And back into the Fox Chapel zone. In pursuit for Hampton is Dembowski. But Fox Chapel will calmly protect this puck, and that'll be Goldstein playing it back to center for Heininger. Heininger went to Downey on the left side, but Downey couldn't handle the pass. Serlioni wraps it around the horn, and Gebhardt keeps it alive at the right point. Serlioni has to go fish one more time, and this time he will get it back to center. And here's Venture with space. Venture driving the net, makes a move, rolled off his stick at the last moment, but drew a penalty. A slashing infraction against the Fox Chapel Foxes. And now the plot becomes more viscous.
Yes, it definitely does. It definitely does. Just an opportunity there. Big time for the Hampton Talbots. So we're going to call timeout here. It looks like heading on to a power play.
Luke Lea wanting to discuss something with Komarek as he delivers instructions to his specialists.
Just had a little bit extra time. He took it. Took advantage of it.
And earlier we saw the Talbots fail to capitalize on a two-man advantage, and moments later, Danny Downey scored a big goal at the time for Fox Chapel. Can the Talbots rewrite the script here?
Almost.
From
Beautiful
the center
shot.
point, Serlioni, put it right into the knees of Wedner, who had to be ready for that one, and the Foxes do ultimately clear thanks to Isaac Jacobs. Talbots retreating, slashing again the call against Porter Hill of the Foxes. As Sullivan is in over the Fox Chapel line, goes through the left circle, and he drops it for Scanlon. A sneaky pass, an even sneakier shot, but they couldn't sneak it past the man that mattered.
I won't go there twice with a quote, so I'll just say I'll stick with what I was saying. And yeah, that was a sneaky shot by Scanlon. Like I said, not afraid to shoot the puck, especially through a couple legs, and good save there by Nash.
And he's seeing some beach balls these last couple minutes to try and keep Hampton from further cutting into that Fox Chapel lead. Talbots have it, though, operating with 1:20 to go on the late power play here, trailing 3-1. Looking for more. Scanlon had the rifle cocked as this is put into the glove and through the glove of Wedner. Talbots regain possession from between the circles. It's kicked out of there, and the rebound goes to the corner. Now another save as Wedner slides to his right to deny that bad angle shot. Past the midpoint of the 5-on-4. At the side of the net, looking for a one-timer was Bianco. He won't get one. Instead, the Foxes are going to clear it as Heininger finally, or not Heininger, but Danny Downey, I beg your pardon, finds that puck at his feet. Hampton promptly right back on the attack. They get this puck in behind the Fox Chapel net as one of the Foxes is dumped and sent on his backside. He gets right back up. That's Goldstein. Fox is trying to clear this puck, and it looks like they're going to be able to as Goldstein sails it through center. And Frank will watch it go by to Serlioni. Serlioni brings it out from behind his own net, and he gathers momentum through center. He's got some space now in over the Fox Chapel blue line. His wrister stopped. Rebound is pushed aside. Good work there by Wiseman to pick up the trash. And that's going to do it. The Foxes back to even strength. Another big penalty kill for the Foxes, who are 3 for 3 in that department. And so it stays a 2-goal game with under 2 minutes to play in period 2. Talbot's not done yet, though. This centering pass broken up by Healy. Downey from his own half wall. Gets it up but not out. Now it comes free to Heininger. Heininger over the line with space to Gebhardt. Gebhardt in on goal. Save made, and it does not cross the line. How did that puck stay out? My goodness.
He bounced it off the post and it sat. He made the play. He beat Frankel, but it sat off the post, and it just a little bit of time for Frankel to get across and then to recover it. What a nice play, but a good bounce for Hampton. And watch these bounces.
And there's a bounce for Fox Chapel, just as you said that, as it came right to Downey, who had Frankel at his mercy there, but couldn't beat him with the reaction shot, as Frankel made a better reaction save. And now we're going to get another penalty with just over a minute to go to the ice cut.
Hampton's ready for this.
Isaac Zatch, the junior defenseman, is going to sit. And so Fox Chapel, I should say, is going to spend the rest of this period on the power play, barring unforeseen developments.
We got 2 in the box, meaning there was a 10 there.
So a head contact penalty of some kind was called, as the Foxes will still have a 2-minute power play, but they will be without the services of the guilty player for some time. Cross-ice pass, turnaround shot is underneath the skate. Another unconscious save by Braden Frankel, who's made a couple of those in the last couple moments of the period here for the Hampton Talbots. And as we check on that penalty, the Talbots are able to win the faceoff in their own zone and clear their own zone.
Nothing yet popped up.
This puck turned over to Scanlon, who can't center it for Sullivan. Instead, it comes to Healy with half a minute to play. Healy centers it. Here's a partial shot that's partially blocked by Sean Sullivan on the back check. And a breakaway for Scanlon the other way. Scanlon shooting off the iron, shorthanded. Oh, Logan Scanlon fighting metal but not mesh with 13 seconds remaining. Fox Chapel counterattacking, putting it off the blocker of Frankel. The Foxes dodging a shorthanded bullet. And that'll do it for a second period that was not boring, Brian
No,
Mitchell.
it was not boring at all. I thoroughly enjoyed that period. It was pretty good. That was a fun one. Checking from behind was the penalty at the end of the period. Checking from behind on Zach.
So it was not a head contact foul, as I initially suspected, but a penalty of the 2 and 10 variety, nevertheless.
Yeah.
Hitting a defenseless player callously. And so that will do it. And we will cut the ice here at Frozen Pond Arena in Valencia with some happy Hampton fans in front of us as the Talbots have some fight in them after falling behind early. Your score through 2 is the Fox Chapel Foxes 3, the Hampton Talbots 1, with Brian Mitchell, Matt Popchalk. It's a Berg Hockey Live doubleheader on Pittsburgh Hockey Digest. Oh, those scrappy Talbots. They are still very much alive here through 2 periods of play at Frozen Pond Arena in Valencia, Pennsylvania. We are nice and comfy cozy here in Butler County.
I don't know about that. The temperature's dropped about 5 degrees since this game began. Welcome to Frozen Pond. It lives up to its name every time we're here.
I'm going to have a hard time arguing that. I will see that. But in any event, it is a 3-1 lead for the visiting Fox Chapel Foxes, looking for a 5th win in as many games to begin the PIHL regular season. And they started quickly, but the Talbots, as the game wore on, showed some fight in them and got a pretty big goal in that second period. Opening the scoring for Fox Chapel was Alex Masick with his first of the year from Miskey and McNamara, 10:53 into the contest. Then with 26 seconds left in the period, a wraparound goal, his team leading 8th of the year from Danny Downey, set up by Mason Heininger. And that came right after Fox Chapel killed off a 2-man disadvantage that could have gotten Hampton right back into the hockey game. And it was 2-0 Foxes after 1. Gavin Gephardt with a pretty wrister, set up by Downey and Heininger. 5:55 into the second period, made it 3-0 Fox Chapel. Hampton getting on the board 12:06 into the second period as Logan Scanlon smashed in Rudy Ratnavali's rebound right on the doorstep of Nash Wedner to make it a 3-1 game. And Fox Chapel, when they hung on for that win over Freeport in that tight checking game, the 1-0 game last week, Fox Chapel was 7 of 7 on the PK. Guess what? They're 3 of 3 tonight so far. There seems to be a bit of a pattern developing here.
They're a heck of a defensive team, but they're with a very big offensive upside. I mean, they're scoring a lot on the transition. They're getting a lot of opportunities, taking advantage of their changeover, their turnovers down and out low, and there's not much to say it's going to happen from the team that takes their opportunities and cashes in. Fox Chapel learned the hard way last couple seasons. Now they're making the rest of the league pay for everything they did to them, especially last year.
And again, they have enjoyed even to this point, you could call it a meteoric rise. Again, just 4 wins last season, all of last season for Fox Chapel in Class A. Already 4 coming into tonight, and we're not even through the first month of the season yet.
They're already a little under a third of the way through their season, a quarter of the way through their season. This will be past the quarter point for their season. So to go 5-0 to start the season will be huge for any team, let alone a team that had the season like they had last year. A lot of the returning players too from that team. So it's going to be a nice turnaround for those Fox Chapel Foxes, but don't count out Hampton yet. The way that they played the last couple minutes of this period, you said there's a lot of fight left in those scrappy Talbots, and let's just say we're still in the ring. There's 17 minutes to go. Final whistle hasn't been blown yet.
No, it certainly hasn't, and I will say something that I have said many times. When you're talking about any level of hockey, really, I believe that you are who your coach is. And over the course of that period, we saw that familiar fight that we're used to seeing from Hampton teams. And, of course, they've got a Hampton alumnus, Luke Lea, from some of the great Hampton teams of a decade ago, leading them as head coach in his 4th season. And what was life like for those two 10 years ago? Well, at that time, the Fox Chapel Foxes were in AAA. They were the #1 Penguins Cup playoff seed in AAA. Corey Rome was their head coach. They were, as we talked about at the top of the cast, they were really one of the feel-good stories in the league that year, made it all the way to the Penguins Cup semifinals, played their hearts out against eventual state champion Upper St. Clair, but couldn't get a bounce as Upper St. Clair won that game 2-0. That same season, the Hampton Talbots make it to the very first playoff and championship game ever played at then Consol Energy Center by beating Katanning and then ultimately getting blanked by Mars in the final. And that was a team that featured Cam Radna in goal and Luke Lea, an all-star, eventually at forward for the Hampton Talbots. And it really is amazing to see those two not only still around, but to see both of them coaching against each other and continuing this current trend of PIHL greats coming back and staying connected to the league by coaching either their former clubs or other clubs in the area.
He's good. That's why we like to keep him around. No, he absolutely correct. And the history here, a lot of these teams, you talk about the players, and you'll see Thursday night we're going to talk, a former disciple, of course, Clay Shell will rejoin you in the booth for the 2 games on Thursday. I'll be on tech. For the first time, we'll have a 3-person team here at one point, but players coming back and coaching, greats being able to do what they do best and enjoy the time. And to see 2 coaches play against each other in a game that's been very well handled, especially it could have went out. This could be out of control right now. Hampton could be so far back that it's that they don't have the chance to get back into this one. But Frankel's played well to keep them in, and we've had the ability to watch them grow offensively and adjust to what Fox Chapel's been doing. And it's been nice to know that they are able to actually, get back into it and make this a contest that they want to be. And, like I said, we got 17 minutes left. Gloves are still on. They're still in the ring. We're going to see what they got left in them.
Hampton's trying to raise some eyebrows, and we had a couple of eyebrow raisers on the out-of-town scoreboard that we were peeping during the ice cut.
Yeah, let me update that real fast, but I don't have any update from the one I really want to see, and I hope that I get that score before we go out because I want to see how that one turned out. Kiski defeated Greensburg-Salem at Palmer Imaging Arena 6-5. Bishop Canevin and Central Valley faced off at Ice Castle. Unfortunately, there's no score from Ice Castle. We'll get to that in a second. Mars and Butler. Butler, of course, you saw this game. Butler took a 4-0 lead. Mars came back and only finished 4-3. But that was a great game. You can watch that on demand on berghockey.com and on our YouTube page. Montour defeated West Allegheny in the Brian Repnick game. Donate if you can. Of course, kidney problems for Brian, and they want to take care of the family. So if you have an opportunity, reach out to West Day if you want to donate, if you have the means. Elizabeth Forward falling to Wilmington at Hess Ice. Well, it's still in progress. 3-2 Wilmington over Elizabeth Forward in a rematch from a couple weeks ago. Connellsville defeating Trinity 11-3 at Palmer Imaging Arena. Pittsburgh Ice Arena, Neshannock is leading Burrell 3-2. The game I wanted to see, both teams over 31 goals. Ringgold and Carrick, no score available. I am jonesing right now to figure out what happened there. I know I'm going to get a text message from both coaches. I know something's going to happen. I want to hear what happens. We're getting ready to start here, but finish this up. Fox Chapel leading Hampton here 3-1. That's your out-of-town scoreboard. Back to you, Legend. I'm sorry, Legend 1. Matt Geika's Legend 2, but I got to give him Legend 1 because he's phoning it in for us.
I got to give you Legend 3. Are you kidding me? Doing all this stuff, multitasking, and helping run the website on top of all that. It's been a fun night of hockey here in Butler County, and it ain't over yet, as Brian said moments ago. Underway in third period action with the Fox Chapel Foxes looking to use a truncated power play to build upon a 3-1 lead here on the road, as Healy is buttressed by Bianco trying to enter the Hampton zone, and the Talbots will sweep it around the boards rather on this clean sheet of ice, but it doesn't quite leave the zone. Foxes have this puck now, and they center it for Heininger. To the left circle, comes right out in front, and a kick save made there, and a follow-up try. The rebound, McNamara, the captain, denied by Frankel, who is on his knees to make that save.
A name we've said several times, and I'll give a little bit of shout-out to, is Bianco. He has played a heck of a game, especially in the second half of this one. He has shown what he can do out there, and he's not getting a lot of credit on there, but he's tying up players in front, getting the opportunity, and in the offensive zone is getting a lot of work done to make sure that the Talbots stay in this.
Final moments of the PK here for Hampton, and it might have a chance shorthanded, but Scanlon can't hang on to that puck as it was poked away neatly by Heininger, who gains the red line, dumps it in, and looks like he's going to get back to the bench for a line change here. Foxes have it. Here's Danny Downey with that pink cancer awareness tape on his blade, sending it behind the Talbots' goal. Talbots have it defensively now as they send it backward to their own corner before it's flipped towards center, erroneously off the rafter and out of play. Face-off coming up to Braden Frankel's left.
Just doing some tech update right now. Turn the scoreboard on with a time clock on it. Shut that off so it didn't make any mistakes while we were in the intermission.
And I think I just bumped my mic a second ago, so there's your obligatory tech gaffe of the evening from yours truly.
Me putting a microphone on is a tech gaffe, so don't worry about it. You're good, my man.
Hopefully that didn't pick up too much, but in any event.
Ooh, I can see my breath.
Fox Chapel poking it right into the stomach. That was a nice save from Frankel as Salvatore Smith was right on Frankel's doorstep but couldn't finish. Talbot's gathering momentum and skating this puck through the center circle. Dembowski gains the Fox Chapel blue line and sends it in behind the Fox's goal before Fox Chapel plays it defensively. Up ahead it comes now to Jacobs. Jacobs working over his man and dropping him to the ice as play continues. And that was Colin Hurst getting the worst of that one for the Hampton Talbots, who have this puck through the officials' crease and in over the Fox Chapel line. Here's Bianco, who Brian was talking about a moment ago, on his off wing now. Bianco looking for an avenue. He'll shoot it from the top of the right circle, just wide of the Fox Chapel net. To the near corner it comes. Goldstein defensively, the freshman, trying to clean up this little skirmish here, and he does. Fox Chapel wins that puck battle, and they come back strong through center. Shot from distance comes off the blocker of Frankel. That opportunity taken by Wiseman as Hampton tries to mount a counterattack, but Fox Chapel's going to get to this puck first. Foxes playing it at their own blue line. Talbots need to tag up. They will. Porter Hill retreating after serving that penalty a little while ago. Fox Chapel again 3 for 3 on the penalty kill as they are guilty of icing here, and both coaches are going to be talking about that one, you would imagine, depending upon how this one plays out. Very important number as things unfold here in the third period with Fox Chapel up by a pair.
Talbot's getting a lot of the bounces heading their way. It's going to be interesting to see if Fox Chapel can withstand that type of the attack that Hampton's been throwing on. All it takes is that one really big bounce like that.
And it's loose right in front.
There it is.
Put in by Scanlon. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Logan Scanlon caught the Foxes in disarray, and he buries his second of the night and third of the season from the slot. And it's a one-goal game with 13:35 to go. Buckle up, Brian.
Well, they don't pay me for my hockey mind. Let me laugh. They don't pay me at all. But at the same time, you saw the bounces go back and forth. You saw the opportunities for Hampton. They were going to get something like that. And the way that's happening is Fox Chapel starting to get into their heads, and especially in the net. And don't give anything to Wedner. He's having a heck of a game, but mistakes like that will happen when the bounces start to bounce towards the other team. You're going to want to try to create something for your own team, and fortunately that time it was on Hampton's side, and they were able to take that bounce and fire it home, and Scanlon gets a second.
And perhaps catching Wedner trying to do just a little bit too much, as that one is nearly put in from an impossible angle by Heininger, who's had his chances tonight. Still hasn't buried one just yet, and a hard collision in the corner
That's a penalty 3 times
is
every
going
2. Yep.
Be a power play to the Fox Chapel Foxes, and does the ice tilt in the other direction now? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Dembowski got up high on the forward down here along the near wall, and it was definitely a high hit, and he's going to head off to the box, and they'll have another power play coming up to Fox Chapel. Definitely a high shot there. I feel old because Dembowski, I've been watching him since he was a freshman. I just realized it now. Senior this year, the alternate captain. Heck of a talent as a freshman, now getting ready to graduate this year.
Scanlon in pursuit, shorthanded for Hampton, which has to kill a penalty, trailing 3-2 with under 13 to go in regulation.
Sullivan
working his man over, and he's trying to generate an opportunity shorthanded for the Talbots. Hampton picking up its game in a big way since falling behind 3-0 in the second period. Fox Chapel trying to ebb the tide here on the man advantage. They have it at the top of the left circle in Hampton ice. With it near side is William McNamara. Fox Chapel goes west-east, but Hampton is able to clear. Good intercept there by Sullivan.
What is it with us with close games that start out a little bit wrong, you know?
Seems to be the pattern tonight. Heininger playing this bouncing puck through center. Up ahead now for McNamara. McNamara dumps it in behind the Talbots' goal midway through the minor penalty to Adam Dembowski as the Talbots are able to clear it again. And Wedner leaves this to one of his defensemen behind his own goal. And it'll be Healy skating it aggressively over the Hampton blue line. Healy ducks around a check, comes through the circle, shoots, and just barely missed top corner. And Healy's furious with himself, but that was a heck of a move. Nearly a supreme individual effort by Healy as one of the Foxes' blue attire there. That was Gavin Gebhardt, who had the most recent Fox Chapel goal, 5:55 into the second period. Downey from the right circle puts it in on goal. That looked like it was blocked by Eric again.
Oh, beautiful play by Scanlon to break Venture.
Here's Venture to the net. Off the blocker. A huge save there by Wedner to keep the 1-goal lead alive for the Foxes. Hampton nearly equalizing shorthanded as the penalty expires, and icing is called against Fox Chapel.
Scanlon just made a beautiful blind pass to the blue line to break Venture there. Venture just took it all the way in and just barely missed on that shot. Scanlon goes over and talks to Wedner after that one. Wow.
And it'll be Fox Chapel's forward winning the faceoff here and clearing it. That is Gavin Gebhardt, as I was trying to decipher the number there, and Gebhardt actually iced his puck a second consecutive time for Fox Chapel.
They had to make Ginn work for that one. She had to really get on her horse there because she had Gebhardt absolutely flying to try to get that puck off of them. They were trying to negate the icing.
To the left point it comes as the teams are back to equal strength. 10:50 to go, third period. Fox Chapel trying to protect a 3-2 lead over Hampton here at Frozen Pond Arena. Turnaround try from long range by Kenny Troy, the senior, is denied with a kick by Wedner. This 50-50 battle is won by the Talbots, but the puck squirts free to a Fox Chapel defender. That's Goldstein, and it comes up ahead eventually for Isaac Jacobs. Jacobs had that puck roll off his stick, however, as Ginn retreats to play it for Hampton. And eventually this puck will find the tape of Fox Chapel's Miskey. Miskey helped set up the first goal of the game by Alex Masick. He won't be able to play this puck, though, but Healy intercepts at the center point. Healy ducking around Ginn. Healy building up speed. Healy to the point for Wiseman. Wiseman's pass intercepted, and here comes Scanlon with a head of steam. Scanlon over the line, shooting, kick save, rebound, swept away.
Just missed.
Scanlon almost pulled a Jake Gensel, trying to finish off the natty hattie from the impossible angle, but couldn't get the bounce. Downey makes sure this puck gets deep, as I think Radna wants to change lines here. Long lead pass intended for Scanlon is going to be played by Wedner. It will not be icing in that case, as it's wrapped off the glass and a little too far for Downey. And Frankel will play it conservatively at the other end.
Well, they were trying to get Hampton in that line change and catch them off guard, thinking it was an icing call. Didn't exactly pay off, but at the end of the day, they're going to face off to the left and buckle up, baby, I guess is the phrase you're going to use in this one. Not to coin a term, not to coin any term, not to steal a phrase, but let's get ready for this one.
And it is won by Downey and put off the blocker as he tried to sneak it in the near post. Downey with his puck, though, centering out in front.
Big
from
save.
point blank. Heininger is denied by Braden Frankel, who keeps his team within one. And here's Downey over the line as the Foxes are offside, among other things. And Luke Leah is not a happy camper on that Hampton bench as we get a whistle and a stoppage in play with 8:52 to go in regulation.
That was if I saw that correctly, and I don't have the replay, and I'm not going to say that it happened 100%, but that he had put both forearms into that hit, and he hit him up high, but the player was coming down when it happened. I mean, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to miss and a tough one to call at the same time, because your position, the referee that was down low, just absolutely didn't have a good shot on that one, and when across was paying attention to the play at the point.
Venture can't clear the zone, and as a result, his goaltender has to make a save from long range on Tyler Goldstein. Leah making a partial line change here before the face-off. 8.5 to go. Talbot's looking for an equalizer. They trailed 3-0 with 5:55 gone by in the second period.
Puck ended up on the Hampton bench. I think it hit Leia on the thigh, I want to say. Something
right
like that. He
underneath
turned right into it, yeah.
Right underneath that Chatham Cougars banner, where the men's team plays their home games, I think.
Yes, the men's teams play here. The women play up at Pittsburgh Ice.
Fox Chapel from the red line, unable to get this puck deep, and here come the Talbots onside. This shot deflected off a Fox Chapel skate and wide. Good effort there by Dembowski, but couldn't get it on goal.
Both Chatham teams high-ranked in their conferences this year. Good turnaround from the past couple seasons, the playoff teams last year. So it'll be interesting. I'll be out there to watch them a little more often this season, seeing how, for some reason, I have a little extra weekend time now. No comment.
Well, speaking of, in a couple weekends, we have the RMU Celebrity Hockey event at Clearview Arena out on Neville Island, and we'll spare you the details on the list of celebrities that are going to be present, but it is a long, long list, and we look forward to keeping an eye on that event. It's a wonderful cause arranged by wonderful people, and we hope that as many people as possible in the Pittsburgh hockey community can be a part of it.
Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it. I have a prior engagement with the tournament that weekend, and I'll be in Erie until late Sunday afternoon. So unfortunately, I won't be able to make that one, but I'm hoping we're sending somebody out. Should have two guys, if not just one, going out.
Fox Chapel trying to clean up its own area. A collision between teammates there, as Wiseman and Masick couldn't get out of each other's own way. No harm done, though, as Healy crosses the Hampton line. Looks to drop it to Miskey. Instead, he's just going to take matters into his own hands and skate it around to the opposite corner. Take some time off this regulation clock. Drop pass now for Wiseman.
Ooh.
Fires it just wide. McNamara, the Fox Chapel captain, fighting for this puck along the half wall. Keeps the sequence alive for the Foxes. Behind the net it comes to Masick. Masick looking for an open player. He finds one, and it's put just over the glove hand of Frankel by Wiseman. The freshman Blue Liners had some great opportunities throughout this game. And an icing infraction is called against the Hampton Talbots insofar as the closest player to that puck was Sean Sullivan.
Not to put a thought in the referee's mind or anything, the tripping call that was missed earlier, something tells me it has something to do with that hit that was down here and why it wasn't called, so they'll play on. I had to call that back out. That was in the back of my mind. I figured I'd say something.
Better late than never.
Yep.
Talbots control the face-off from their own zone and come over the line. Here's Dembowski. Dembowski skating around Goldstein to the net, and Wedner didn't know where that puck was. It looked like he got a piece of it as the Hampton forward just ran out of real estate. Dembowski through the right circle on his backhand now, drops it off. Shot through a crowd, off the post and cleared out of there at the last second by Zatman.
Bagnotto was right there with, so that was Elk. 84-48, I'm sorry. But right there on that post, just missed that wide open net.
Well, you talk about puck luck. Woo. Fox Chapel needed some. Fox Chapel got some with 6:19 to play. It remains somehow a 3-2 game. And the Foxes get a face-off win here as Downey's wrist shot is blocked. To the point it comes for Wiseman, for Downey along the half wall. From the corner that's put through the goal mouth, misses everything, comes right to Healy. Healy sends the puck deep, giving chase. Far corner is Gebhardt. Gebhardt is worked over by Serlioni. And Fox Chapel wins this battle, but they can't hang on to the puck. And it's flipped up to the point, not quite out though. Good keep by Wiseman for Healy. Healy pulls around him and snaps it into the stomach. It's loose and put just wide. Gebhardt couldn't find the rebound. Heininger with it now. Heininger around a man. Couldn't get around the second, though. A good poke check.
Oh, it is again.
And here comes Venture the other way. Possible 2-on-2. Venture snapping it off the blocker hand again of Nash Wedner. Foxes with it one more time. And here's a shot put through the goal mouth. And how did that not go in? Whew. I don't quite believe what I just saw. A yawning net missed from a tough angle, but a makeable angle nevertheless by the Fox Chapel Foxes, and it stays a one-goal game.
I don't know, man. That was something. What I'd like to see after that, though, was the camaraderie in the crease. It wasn't an anger camaraderie. They just, like, shake each other off. Congratulations, nice play. It was good to see. Two teams come together there.
Both teams really trying to keep their heads in this game because it still is a game.
I think they recognize it's a good game. It's been a great game. You don't want to ruin that type of, they're putting on a show right now for everybody at home, and we're getting good views right now, so compared. So for a late game on a Monday.
Just over 5 minutes to go here in the third period. Fox Chapel 3, Hampton 2. Foxes looking to preserve their so far perfect regular season. 4 straight wins to start the campaign. Hampton coming in at 1-2 overall in the Class A Northeast Division of the PIHL. And the Talbots continue to battle on the doorstep. And who was looking for that puck for Hampton? I think that was Troy. It was Kenny Troy. You're correct. McNamara puts it off the leg of Frankel from about 60 feet. And Hampton will try to clear the zone. They can't, though. Good keep here by Fox Chapel, but that was Miskey overskating the puck, and Hampton will ice it again.
Well, this is a doozy.
And like the early game, it started out looking like it was going to be anything but Hampton has clawed their way back into it after a fast start by the high-scoring Foxes. And it'll be taking the face off for Fox Chapel, Heininger. And Heininger wins it cleanly to Downey, but Downey can't get a clean shot on net. Healy keeps it alive at the left point. Talbots unable to get it out of the area. It comes right back to Healy. Healy down low. Now up high to Healy. Healy snapshot. Kicked out of there somehow. I don't know how Frankel saw that puck, but he did. And now the Talbots will gain possession as the centering pass was broken up. Dembowski indeed skates it back as far as the red line before Sullivan takes it over for Hampton. Now Sullivan is contacted by a Fox Chapel defenseman. That's Healy, who goes down as the Talbots are guilty of offside. 4 minutes to go.
This is fun. And I'm excited. So much fun.
Isaac Zetch out of the penalty box now after serving that 2-10 for a hit to the numbers as that second period was winding down. Elk with it now for the Talbots in his own end. And a dangerous play there. That was almost turned over to a hard-charging Gebhardt. As it is, the Foxes will retreat deep in their own zone to play this puck. And they get it out to Downey. Downey up through center now, gains the red line, dumps it in. Around the corner boards, it goes to Gebhardt. Serlioni trying to cut it off for Hampton, but Heininger gets there. Heininger forgot the puck, though, and he gives it up to Scanlon. Scanlon is poked at by one of the Foxes, but is able to send it up ahead to James Elk. Elk hustles to the corner. One of the Foxes got there first, but Hampton sends it to the opposite end of the Fox Chapel zone. And a hard hit there on Danny Venture, who stays upright as the Foxes play this puck behind their own goal line with 3 minutes to go in the third period. It's still a one-goal game. And a turnover at the blue line. Scanlon couldn't hang on, And now the Talbots have to tag up. Behind his own net is Gebhardt. Gebhardt being worked over by Scanlon, who has both Hampton goals on the night. Healy from his own corner. Seeing the play unfold and electing to skate toward the blue line himself before dishing it off last second to McNamara. Now it's Gebhardt over the line. Nice move there by Gebhardt. Lets it go to McNamara. Now back for Gebhardt. Shot, score! William McNamara delivering a possible dagger for the Fox Chapel Foxes with 2:23 to play. McNamara, his 5th of the year, from right in the middle of the right circle.
Gebhardt took an unsportsmanlike conduct after the play. He did something coming across the ice. Let me see if I can get what he did, because we had it on camera. They're talking about it. There was a
Yeah, I didn't quite see, Brian, if McNamara or
must have
or
said
the Fox
something.
Chapel player Gebhardt, yeah, it must have been a taunt or something that was within earshot of one of the officials.
Oh no, it was to the bench, the Hampton bench, because Leia is livid right now on the bench.
Well, it seems to have calmed down for the moment because the penalty, it was caught and the penalty was called correctly.
Trying to see if there's anything.
And are we going to have one of the coaches call their timeout here?
They are. So we're going to, I don't know what happened there, but we'll see what the call is on the ice.
So here's what you need to know. It's 2:23 remaining in the third period, and Will McNamara, the Fox Chapel captain, has just scored a critical insurance goal for his team, but as that play was developing, Gavin Gebhardt, the Fox Chapel senior forward, getting called for unsportsmanlike conduct, seeming to have taunted the Hampton Talbots bench. And so the Talbots will get a power play here with 2:23 to go in regulation, now down by 2 goals.
Conduct, yep.
And the question now is, if you're Luke Leia, do you elect to go 6-on-4? Do you empty the tank now?
2:23 remaining, down by 2, the way your team was playing recently.
It would seem to stand to at least a little bit of reason, I think. Hampton has been right in this game the entire third period.
Frankel heads to the bench. I mean, to the net.
For now, at least. The Talbots just, they had so many chances, just couldn't get the bounce. And then at the other end, McNamara with a really beautiful shot. Take nothing away from him.
Shot.
And it completely fooled Frankel and fooled us for that matter. Just barely, with that sizzling wrist shot, snuck it underneath the bar and over the glove hand of Braden Frankel, the senior goaltender. And it's a 4-2 game with 2:15 to play. Hampton on the power play for the 4th time in this game. And keeping one eye on Frankel at the other end as the Talbots get this puck deep. And Dembowski gives chase for the home team. It comes out to the right circle where it's swiped at by the Foxes and cleared. And let's see if the Foxes apply any kind of extra pressure to keep Frankel in between those pipes. Now he's going to go off with 1:50 left. And gathering speed is one of the Talbots. That's Serlioni looking for Dembowski right in front of the net, but couldn't find him. Fox Chapel playing some sound positional hockey on that rush. Shot from the center point is blocked. The Foxes don't know where it is. Now they just kick at it.
Downey's going to take a penalty here.
He can't believe it. I can, because I think it's the correct call, but Downey can't believe it. It's the right call.
He held on to him as he was going down.
Yes, he did.
He pulled him down.
And so a 6-on-4 can potentially become, for 1 minute and 7 seconds, a 6-on-3.
I take my previous statement back I made earlier. This game is what's going to cause me stress that everybody's going to ask why am I getting grayer. 6-on-4, down by 2, 1:30 remaining. Oh boy.
A two-man advantage with the goaltender still pulled.
They're having a problem with the penalties. They deleted the first penalty.
Yes, that is creating some confusion that they are trying to straighten out at the moment. Clock is stopped at 1:30 remaining in regulation. Fox Chapel 4, Hampton 2. But the Talbots have a 6-on-3 advantage here with the goaltender pulled. And Fox Chapel's biggest scoring threat in the sin bin.
There it is. They fixed it now.
A 67-second three-player advantage. But the Foxes are able to clear it, and will this make the empty net? No, it will not, but it will also not be icing. That's the key. Serlioni skates it out. Up ahead for Sullivan. Sullivan over the line, stays on side, dangles around a man, lost a puck at the side of the net. Talbot still have it. Dembowski pries it loose. It comes to the point for Serlione. Serlione atop the left circle, snapshot blocked. Centering pass, snapshot by Venture is blocked. That was Heininger that got in the way of that
Score!
one. And the Talbots have scored.
Elk tapped it.
He did indeed.
Elk got the last stick on it.
Blink and you missed it. James Elk with his first goal of the season, and what a time for him to score it. It's a one-goal game with 51.7 seconds left. 1:21 to go now on the potential 6-on-4 power play. And for now,
Frankel's in.
Frankel is in goal indeed.
Oh, baby.
Hampton finally getting that breakthrough, that big play on special teams that it has been looking for through these first few contests of the season. And they are still very much in this thing. And they win the ensuing faceoff. Venture to his captain Serlioni, and immediately Frankel's coming to the bench. 45 seconds to go. Hampton needs one more. Healy off the glass. And again, this will not be icing because Fox Chapel's on the penalty kill, and the Fox's bench expresses their approval with the defensive work there by Healy. Hampton with urgency. Sullivan over the line, snaps it off the blocker of Wedner. To the far side it goes. In the corner is Elk. Elk reverses the play. Hampton looking for that backdoor opportunity. They're not going to get it. It's fired toward the open net, and it will go in.
Bounced off the post and in. The clock is running.
Bazinga. 5-3 Fox Chapel, and the Foxes, by the hair of their chinny chin, will remain unbeaten in PIHL Class A. Foxes 5, Talbots 3 with under 5 seconds to play.
Excuse my French, but that's a heck of a hockey game that we just saw there.
It was. The Foxes taking the most circuitous route they possibly could to that 5th victory of the season, but they will indeed earn it against a hard-working Hampton team. A game effort from the Talbots, but a win nonetheless for the Fox Chapel Foxes. Your final score tonight from Frozen Pond Arena in Valencia, Pennsylvania is the Fox Chapel Foxes 5 and the Hampton Talbots 3. Fox Chapel 5-0, Hampton 1-3, but they certainly didn't play like a 1-3 hockey team. The Talbots really emptied the tank in the end there.
That was one heck of a hockey game, and great effort by Hampton to step up there after being down 3-0. I mean, seriously, man. We just saw probably one of the better games I've seen in a while between two teams that, you know, are on the up and up. Truthfully, that's a statement game for both teams, and you're over the quarter point of the season for Fox Chapel. They're 5-0, but Hampton, hold your heads high because that was a phenomenal effort. It just took one or two bounces, would have been a win for you guys over an undefeated team. So,
yeah, Hampton's certainly not a team that has yet turned the corner, but you definitely see signs that they are approaching the corner and getting ready to turn it, for want of a better phrase. And for the Fox Chapel Foxes and their head coach, former Hampton alumnus Cam Radna, again, that feel-good story just keeps on getting feel-gooder, again, for want of a better phrase. We have seen a lot of things here tonight in Butler County. What we have not seen is clarification, I think, on the empty net goal at the very end. It was a 200-foot shot from the far corner, and let's see if we can get a positive ID on the goal scorer. It was Heininger getting credit for the play for now, it looks like, and if it stands, that'll be
shorthanded
Heininger's
empty netter.
It'll be his second shorthanded goal of the season for that matter, and his fourth goal of the season overall. Thanks, Mitch, for being the second set of eyes, as always, on that. And so he provides the final margin of a tense victory for the Fox Chapel Foxes. And what a fantastic night of hockey here in Valencia.
Yeah, this was the pick of the week for me. I'm shocked at how well these two games took off and they played out, and a lot of drama, a lot of work, and like you see the players on the ice right now congratulating each other, very close, good players. So
and
this is a good one.
The heck of it is, we got to do it all over again in a few nights, and we'll get to do it all over again.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Ice Castle Arena, we will be down there. We still don't have a score from there. I'm excited to see who actually pulled off those two victories. But right now, we got a final score to talk about in this one. So
yes, indeed. And we will see you on Thursday night from the house that Ralph built as the Upper St. Clair Panthers host the AAA rival Peters Township Indians. But until then, the Fox Chapel Foxes will celebrate a 5-3 victory in our nightcap over the Hampton Talbots. For Brian Mitchell, I'm Matt Popchalk. Thank you for watching Berg Hockey Live in doubleheader style on Pittsburgh Hockey Digest.